All right, folks. Hey, you can tell by the ugly mug here. This is not Fausto. This is Josh tagging in for Fausto. And with that, good morning for all of us here this Tuesday, August 13th, shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern. Great to have Grant, Kathleen, Leda. I see Barbara, Michael, Steven, John, all of our students right now joining us live in chat right now, our live trading room. Great to have all of us back on social media otherwise. Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Let me just type that in here on the main chat right now. If you're new to our social media streams or platforms alike, bottom left, at Cyber Trading You, be a friend, tell a friend that we got a YouTube channel here. Make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button. And on the top left, you should see a little QR code. Hey, always feel free to join us inside our live trading room, that is. Got a new little look here, a little Florida guy attire here today. But on top of that, got some nice funky glasses here for you today, right? Now, these are actually blue light glasses. This actually refracts, blocks, whatever it is, all of the bad blue light, from the computer screens, from your cell phones and all that. Did a little research. So if you're on YouTube, you see my funky face right now. It'd be the new look. I mean, the new look right now. I kind of feel like I'm the guy from Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler. All right, nevertheless, you got CXAI here. At least this thing has been choppy all from the morning session. I took a break-even trade. I made like 3 cents on the first half, and then I got out break-even on the second half, just right at 52. So with that, I just took the money and ran because this wasn't really going anywhere. Wasn't really making a big push after 8 o'clock. Wasn't really making a big push going into 8:30 here at 9 o'clock. There's a chance it could. Don't get me wrong. But, hey, much like everyone has their own cup of coffee in the morning, my cup of coffee for a stock that breaks through a big level on the way up, you want to see a big move shortly after. So with that, this thing is not made said big move, right? So, if it pops suddenly, then so be it. It happens. There are things that we do all throughout the day that we have to step away from our desk, or even if we are at our desk, stock might pop without us. Should happen. So now as we go through this meeting, we'll see if this ends up pushing up higher towards that 264 or higher towards that 276 area. I plotted out a couple resistance lines, but I tell you, I took the money and ran because this thing's been teetering over the VWAP line, just teetering. And I think with another snap below it, it could really crash. So it's very 50-50. Very 50-50 there. Now, I'll tell you, though, if you had joined us yesterday, of course, yesterday on Monday, we conducted our weekly Traders Talk workshop. Every Monday now going forward at 12 o'clock Eastern time, we do a live Q&A workshop now on YouTube, of course, inside our live trading room. It's simulcasted. So we were going over a few different trades there, right? I mean, to begin, we had the PSIG. I still have my lines all mapped out here. This was more from the morning session. Pre-market mover, of course, here, but after the open, this thing ended up taking off, making a really strong run up, got halted on the way up there. Here is the only issue on this trade. I've been with Fausto since October of 2014, going on a decade. we've never really traded OTC stocks. That's the first thing. We don't really trade OTC here. Teach their own. We just don't have the data for it. We don't trade them. We just trade NASDAQ, Amex, New York Stock Exchange, etc. I think the news out on this company was that they went from OTC to NASDAQ, and my broker, my platform TradeStation here, as good as they are, they didn't recognize that until like midday. So I didn't have the data to trade this thing on the way up. But a few of us in our trading room, different brokers, different platforms were, and they made good money on it. But obviously heading into the afternoon, that's where I tried to make another pop. Actually, that's where we were focused on even more. It kind of kicked in on my platform, became NASDAQ and had the data. So we were looking for the higher highs. We were looking for the break over 250 and just didn't get it. So here at this point, what goes up does come back down. This thing's down like 8% roughly. It's trying to move back up a little bit here, but I'm not as particular about this stock right now for the market open. It's kind of flavor of the day type thing. If it ends up proving itself to us over time and ends up making a better run like during this meeting, I'll consider otherwise. But I tell you, man, there was a lot of garbage out there this morning. CXAI was the best of the garbage, really, if you think about it. Just to go over another stock from yesterday, not as much from this morning, but INDO, this stock was a beauty. It was a phenomenal move early in the afternoon. And then the best part about this trade, I think I still have the level 4 to show for this year. Here we go. So, yeah, we went over this in class. Look how resistance became support here. $3.90, $4, a couple iceberg levels there. It broke over it. When a stock breaks over resistance, resistance flips. Made a phenomenal move after. So that was an easy trade. That was very takeable. INDO. Hey, it's not down 7 to 8% like the other one. It's actually much closer to the highs this morning. I wouldn't mind just putting INDO like on our watch list to begin. We'll go through in just a moment the real scanners and see what we can really muster up. But it's kind of hanging in there, trading over or trading nearly 500,000 shares so far in the morning. Just be careful on the spread. Be careful on the order book. By the time the market opens up, you're hoping to see this fill in a lot more. But I was saying before, right? There was kind of a lot of garbage out there early this morning. This is one of them, and I wanted to just mention this before we go from top to bottom here. Otherwise, because man, this thing was a disaster, right? I mean, I was looking for a pullback on this anyway when it first popped, took off, news came out. We're looking to make call outs, and hey, at this time it looks great. Popped up to 2. Two's resistance. So like, okay, maybe you can pull back, build support. Man, this thing completely dumped right back down. So that's what we're working with today, folks. Just be mindful of that, right? Because for as crazy as we saw some of these trades yesterday, INDO we had, PSIG we had, of course we had from pre-market also, GNLN, and then even in the after hours. Yeah, let's go over this as well. I forgot that this even popped in the afternoon. This was a crazy move in the afternoon. I mean, as crazy, if not more than what we had here in pre-market. So, pre-market, this popped up. There was minimal room for a pullback on this early in the morning. So I'm not the type of person that just looks at a chart and just tells you, oh, you could have bought here, sold here. This was tough to just jump into. And if you just jump into this, I hope that you're not just jumping into everything. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get your ass kicked eventually on those trades. You're gambling. So thankfully, this ended up coiling back down and presented another opportunity later on. It ended up building higher lows across the day, ended up finally breaking out off resistance off of $9.75, $10, and obviously created a new run from there, pushed all the way up towards $20. Was this in the after hours or right before the close? Yeah, right before the close. Now, this is the scary part with trading stocks that go up as much as this did. And we go over this in class. I teach you this a lot more extensively in our classes. In the phase 1 stock course, we talk about news. Not even this, not even that right there. I'm talking this right here and this. They price a $6.5 million private placement priced at the market. How about that for alliteration? Pricing a private placement priced at the market. Try saying that 3 times fast. All right. So with that, normally these common stock offerings, these direct offerings of shares, just crush stock price. And they often happen. They often happen after a stock runs up 300%, 500%. You can't time it. You can't schedule it. You can't determine it in your head. So that's why I always say it's better to be more safe than it is to be sorry. Obviously, Fausto says it in his free webinars every week. You don't want to turn a day trade into a swing trade. It's pretty much for this reason, right? I mean, who knows what could happen overnight, but you naturally have sell-off. And on top of that, news like this could come out. So this is cooked. If you like your steak extra well done, this is for you. That's not for us, though, here at least. So whether you like it medium rare or just medium, either way, we're not going to discuss that. Let's run the scanners from top to bottom now. Let's jack that up a bit, see what we could add. Went nowhere, right? Went nowhere, the CXAI. And it's just disappointing. MKDW, when you see these stocks that you've never really seen trade before, if you're like Grant, Kathleen, Barbara, I could say so many students here, but like students that have been with us for like a year, just 1 year or more. It's a lot of students here, but it's just to say that, because the more often that you see these stocks pop up, you grow fond of them. You become more trustworthy of them. Like, I don't remember this MKDW stock really ever. So when I see that pop up on a given morning, it's going to need a lot for me to become, trustworthy of it. Gain its trust. So CNTM, I mean, for what we got going on this morning, is this the worst thing I've seen? No. I wish it was moving up, but it's not moving down. So for that reason, oh man, that's how you know it's a shallow watch list here. So if anything, I want to mention that at least the chip stocks making a little push. SOXL up 4 to 5%, so that's nice. I'll add that to our watch list. Nvidia up another 3 to 4% off a pop. So that, of course, will go back on our watch list. You got the Nvidia ETF there. I don't think AMD is doing as strong. It's going up a little bit. Taiwan Semiconductor has been the hotter hand, I feel, of late. That's going up a tiny amount as well. So, I like SOXL because that's more volatile. That represents the entire chip sector to begin with. So that's volatile enough as is. You got NVIDIA and you got NVDL that'll kind of just tag on there. All right. So that's that. We would have found that anyway here on the more expensive gainer side, but also actually maybe to include with that Dell, it's up 4 to 5%. That's been a hot hand at least earlier in the year. This and from the end of last, I guess, too. But thing took off, right? Huge short squeeze all the way up towards just about, like, was it 180? Yeah, almost. Came back down to 100 and under, and it's just a decent side list play. I don't know if there's news out on Dell here today, and we don't like really adding too many expensive stocks on our watch list. So you got NVIDIA and the NVIDIA tickers there. The one thing I will add would be this. So, I don't think anyone was expecting this news this morning. So Starbucks ended up announcing a new CEO, and the CEO is the same CEO from Chipotle. Trading higher after the company announced that Chipotle CEO and chairman Brian Niccol has been named as Starbucks' new chairman and CEO effective September 9th. I don't know how there's enough time in the day to run two major large cap companies. Teach their own. I guess Elon does it, so maybe this guy's drawing inspiration from him. But nevertheless, that led to a huge breakout. Street loves it, of course. So, I don't know the first thing about this guy, but I know the first thing about the street. and if the street's liking this stock today, then I will like that. So we're gonna add Starbucks. Now with that, I think Chipotle is down. I think probably find Chipotle on the losers list. No. All right. If you're new to our streams here, again, just make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button here, just top or lower left here, as I got my funky glasses on today, debuting them at Cyber Trading U. And then otherwise, just make sure to scan that QR code on the top left at the end of the stream right there. KG says crazy on that one. I think he was referring to the GNLN trade, right? And that was from before. And just catching back up here, just another chat from our member on YouTube today, KG. What is that NVIDIA ETF? Just to go back to that again. Yeah, there's a bunch of the ETFs, so you don't want to trade every one of them. You don't need to. Fausto is the first one to say that. So that's where this is the one that we've been more adamant on. We've been more jumpy towards because it trades more volume. Granted, the more expensive NVIDIA gets, this only gets that much more expensive too. So eventually it will fall out of your price range if there's a good bounce. But NVDL is the NVIDIA ETF for now that we're trading. All right, but let's hop over to the losers list here, seeing if there's anything looking just as good. SYRS took a huge hit overnight. I didn't even recognize that until just now. It doesn't hurt for us to add this to our watch list here for right now, just because there's maybe a chance it could try and make a small bounce. But once it stops making that small bounce, it's going to come right back down. I'm telling you. So don't expect full gap fill. Don't even expect half. Might not even get to the top of the resistance line here, 243, 250. If you can get 25 cents, if you can get 50 cents out of it, that would be great. That'd be a home run. Just know your worth on a dead cat bounce like that. All right, you got HA Hawaiian Holding. Okay, I was going to make a joke. Is this like HE's cousin? But I think it actually is. HE Hawaiian Electrics, HA Hawaiian Holdings. So whatever news came out with this company this morning, taking a bit of a hit. You know what? One more time. Newsman Levitan today. So what do we got? Earnings, I think this is. Yeah, it looks like the EPS missed, sales missed. This is from earlier in the morning, but looks like they announced earnings and some other news that came out there. So yeah, it doesn't hurt for us to add this here at this point. HA, it's shortable on my platform. If it is for you, then you'll look to see this make lower high, lower low, back down towards 1050. TME taking a hit, not a bad stock to put on our watch list as well for a short. CMG obviously as well. That one took a huge hit pretty much as soon as the other one had popped. It doesn't hurt for us to put CMG on our list as well at this point because it's pulling back. It's showing better direction on the way down. Just if you don't trade the more expensive stocks, then the best advice I can give you here is just don't let it be noise to you. Don't let it be a distraction to you. Don't let it be like the blue light trying to go through my glasses here. So with that, let's see if there's anything else, folks, before we wrap up for Michael Grant, Chris, Abdul Grant, is it Grant twice there, Chuck, and all of us otherwise. Let me know if anything else is looking good. Chuck on the Soon trade. Yeah, SOUN, right? That's a decent looker there. It's only up 2%, but it's one from yesterday, and it's holding strong once again. The only thing I'd say is, let's just keep going through a few more, because if there's a lot that looks like this, I just don't want to create like a 20 stock watch list. That's all. So for right now, it looks pretty good. Abdul says it was his best trade of the day on the GNLN. He killed it. Congrats to Abdul and anyone actually that made money on that trade from yesterday. Hopefully you got out, right? That's the key. Hopefully you're out. Hopefully you've been out from like the morning session. All right, there isn't really much else, Chuck, that I'm seeing here. Let's see from YouTube right now. Otherwise, I think that's good for now. Let's check out Benzinga. OGEN. Trying to make a little pop here. Let's see what that's about. But otherwise, Chuck, yeah, I mean, soon could be a good one to add here at this point. This thing doesn't have a great order book right now. It's only trading 163,000 shares right before the market opens up. Just because it's moving up doesn't mean we're going to add it to our list. So for that, I'm going to pass on this, and I will add that soon trade, Chuck. So, folks, just give me a quick minute. Normally, I post the watch list as I type. We always like to do that here. And Ravi saying Jumia, speech impediment there. This is like definitely more of a side list stock. At least the soon trade has better trend as of right now in this immediate moment. Jumia is good stock, though. It's been moving around quite a bit the last week or two or three. If you've done well on Jumia more often than not, then I would assume that you'd be more interested in putting it on your personal list. And that's totally good. That's what we all kind of do here, right? So, for anyone that doesn't have that solidified, concrete, like 2 or 3 that they're focused on, that's where we say, especially for new members at least, to start and stick with the watch list that we're about to post, right? Start and stick with the list. And then otherwise, once you have your footing, once you're like really making money here and there with us in the room, and you've been in our classes for a cycle or two, I'd say at that point you have a pretty good skill for scanning and developing your own personal list. That's where I say if you did well on Jumia the past week or two and you like it this morning, I'm not putting it on the main list. I think there's other stocks that are better for this morning, but hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So that's always my thought process there. But hey, for Ravi, Abdul, Chuck, Grant, and Tim, Alex, Margaret, Brian, all of us here in chat. Otherwise, give me about 15 or so minutes. Going to refill up the water. We're good on the coffee, but we'll be good to go coming up for the opening bell here. Now, again, I think Fausto's out today. I think he'll be back tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's going away on vacation, well-deserved, starting on Friday, I think. So, with that, you got me throughout most of the month of August. Looking forward to it at least. And we got our classes all throughout this week, next, and a couple weeks after that. So, great time to learn, great time to be a part of our Cyber Trading University group here. And, once more, if you're interested, join us by scanning that QR code on the top left of the stream. Just if you're on YouTube, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., gives you a week-long access to our live trading room. We'll continue the audio commentary here, and then we'll come back later on today at 2:30 Eastern just for the afternoon meeting. All right, folks. But again, for all of us live right now, just stay tuned. Just prep up your levels, make sure that we're good to go, and I'll be back on here just for the opening bell. Talk to you soon.